From Church Militant Studios, this is the Church Militant Evening News.
Hello and thank you for joining us this Wednesday, March 29th. I'm James Fedewa, along with Hunter Bradford here with Catholic News and Context. Before we get started, according to hospital sources, Pope Francis has been admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital. He arrived by ambulance and reportedly had both heart problems and respiratory fatigue. Any audience the Holy Father previously had scheduled for tomorrow and Friday have been canceled. Church Militant is monitoring the story closely and will update you as facts develop. But tonight, there's new evidence against this bishop and his cover-up cabal. We're warning you, don't be fooled by the tyrannical Nicaraguan regime's latest charade. And 20 teenage girls from Afghanistan got a well-deserved day at the mall after fleeing from terrorism.
Traditionalist Catholic groups have launched a billboard blitz around the Vatican protesting Pope Francis's crackdown on the traditional Latin Mass. On Tuesday, dozens of billboards in Roman neighborhoods urged Francis to stop his hostilities against the TLM. The 15-day poster campaign features images and quotes from Pope Benedict XVI, Pope John Paul II, and Pope Pius V. Organizations promoting the poster campaign warned in a press statement, those who go to the Latin Mass are not second-class believers, nor are they deviants to be re-educated or a burden to be gotten rid of.
And here to tell us more about this new billboard campaign is our Rome correspondent, Dr. Jules Gomez. Jules, great to see you. So is this an appropriate method to address the Holy Father? It seems like they are almost trying to publicly twist his arm, Jules.
Good evening, James. Interestingly, that's precisely what I asked Dr. Joseph Shaw. Joseph is an Oxford academic, and he's president of the Una Voce International Latin Mass Society. Now, Dr. Shaw told me that they have tried to get their message across to the Vatican in so many ways. And he says it's not easy to make oneself heard in the church today. Let me read what he told me. He said in 2001, before Traditiones Custodes was published, Una Voce International took out a newspaper advertisement to appeal to Pope Francis with a similar message as these posters. And this is because the official channels, the Roman Curia, could not even talk to us about the planned document, let alone enter into any dialogue. And Dr. Shaw says at best, traditional Catholics seem to be collateral damage to an ideological project. At worst, he says, we seem to be regarded with contempt, James.
Jules, this isn't the first time that Francis has been hit with this kind of billboard blitz in Rome. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and I'm told, Catholics in Rome wouldn't do this to Pope Paul, to Pope John Paul II, or to Pope Benedict, but they did it in 2017 to Pope Francis. And this was when he was decapitating the Knights of Malta and the Franciscans of Mary Immaculate. And they asked him, why are you doing this? Where is your mercy, Holy Father? They asked him. And you can see from the picture, they posted a rather sour-looking picture of Pope Francis.
Yeah, classic picture of Pope Francis there, Jules. But Jules, thank you very much for digging into this for us. And I just want to let the audience know that the matching outfits was not planned, but things happen. So, Jules, thank you so much for coming on, and God bless.
Thank you, James.
All right, gentlemen, breaking news. We are reporting that multiple Italian media outlets are reporting that Pope Francis has suffered a heart attack. Moving on, a high-ranking Jesuit cardinal is open to the possibility of the church welcoming women to the priesthood. Luxembourg's pro-gay Cardinal Jean-Claude Hollerich is claiming that the church may revisit Pope John Paul II's prohibition on ordaining women. He noted in a recent interview, "I am a promoter of giving women more pastoral responsibility. And if we achieve that, then we can perhaps see if there still is a desire among women for ordination." Earlier this month, Cardinal Hollerich was appointed the Holy Father's Council of Cardinal Advisors.
Aurora STL, an intimate performance venue in St. Louis, is hosting on Good Friday a Blasphemous Pageant. Fair warning, it's very blasphemous and partly sexual. Contestants in the, quote, sexy Jesus pageant are told they can display their talents in the show us your good side category. The city's alternative newspaper, the Riverfront Times, is promoting the event and joining in the mockery, saying any competitor who could turn water into wine would get our vote. Local Catholics are rightfully outraged.
People are just totally disgusted. It's the whole thing is making a mockery of Jesus. They want to act like Jesus, obviously, because they think Jesus is sexy. But if they really wanted to act like Jesus, they'd get on their knees and start praying.
A Catholic priest who used to serve here in Michigan and was arrested and charged with 6 counts of criminal sexual conduct has a date in court. 84-year-old former Flint area priest, then Father Vincent de Lorenzo, will face a jury at Genesee County Circuit Court on April 26th. In 2002, the Diocese of Lansing announced it received an accusation against de Lorenzo involving an incident back in the 1970s when the victim was just 8 years old. The Diocese of Lansing began de Lorenzo's laicization process back in 2019, the same year he was finally charged.
A Chicago seminary recently announced that one of its former faculty members has been accused of sexual abuse. In a letter obtained by the Pillar, Mundelein Seminary informed its students former Professor Dennis McNamara, quote, engaged in sexually inappropriate behavior toward adult seminarians. Mundelein notified McNamara's current employer, Benedictine College in Kansas, but it's unclear if it will act on the recent allegations against him. Church Militant spoke with Father Paul John Kalchik, who went through Mundelein Seminary in the late 90s.
It appears little has changed for the better at Mundelein Seminary. New accusations about a seminary prof hitting on his students. 30 years ago, when I was there, it was notorious for homo shenanigans. I recall vividly 2 priest professors leaving out of the blue for pursuits not in keeping with the priesthood. Michael Rose, in his book, Goodbye, Good Men, wrote about Mundelein. It was known not for ordaining holy men to the priesthood, but gays.
Church Militant reached out to Mundelein Seminary, but as of yet, we have not heard back.
Turning to New York, in the Diocese of Buffalo, newly released transcripts reveal bishops in that diocese deliberately refused act on sex abuse claims. The 2019 transcripts contain testimony from Buffalo's former auxiliary bishop, Edward Grosh, and former ordinary of Buffalo Bishop, Richard Malone. In the testimony from Malone, quote, I don't ever want to throw any of my predecessors under the bus. I was only told once that Bishop Mansell decided to deal with these priests in a less formal way. In other words, he had them off the job, and according to the 2001 Vatican document, that was not adequate.
Supporters of an imprisoned Nicaraguan bishop clamoring for proof of his life and well-being have received some relief. A video of Bishop Rolando Alvarez posted recently by a Nicaraguan news outlet showed the prelate having a meal with his brother and sister. The bishop, arrested over 6 weeks ago and sent to one of the country's most brutal prisons for criticizing the Ortega regime, offered words of encouragement to the faithful despite his own dire situation.
Today is the Annunciation of the Angel, the instruction of the angel to the Blessed Mother, right? For when the Word became flesh for our salvation, that's what is important for us today. My brother Jesus became the Word, and our Blessed Mother will protect us all with the same motherly love.
Many close to the situation criticized the blatant staging of the event, including such details such as the blue armchairs, a coffee table, and potted plants. One Nicaraguan prelate commented, the scenography of the dictatorship was repugnant and cynical and does not expunge its crime.
The Catholic Church in Ireland has been drastically losing support, and now it is handing schools over to the state. The patronage of St. Enda's Catholic Primary School in Dublin is being transferred from the Carmelite Order to the city's Education and Training Board. Currently, around 90% of elementary school in Ireland are under the patronage of the church, but that number is steadily dropping. Dublin's Archbishop Dermot Farrell attributed the move to, quote, the growing diversity of Irish society.
And a U.S.-based Catholic charity is rescuing young girls in Afghanistan after they were attacked by ISIS, leaving them in need of serious medical treatment. 20 girls were taking a practice entrance exam at an education center in Kabul back in September 2022 when a suicide bomber attacked the school. The Vulnerable People Project, led by its founder, Jason Jones, who's a friend of Church Militant, was there on site caring for those who survived the Islamist aggression.
I think there were 56 young students that died, 46 of them young girls, 110 were injured. The 20 that received visas and free hospital care thanks to a Catholic hospital, they need major surgeries.
Good for him for helping out. Well, when we come back, the National Hockey League may put their support for LGBT on ice. And the country of Scotland has a rich history, but faithful Catholic men in Caledonia just contributed to it. Stay tuned, we've got more for you when we come back. Thank you for watching the first half of Church Militant Evening News.
If you would like to watch the rest of today's episode, please click the link in the description, and we'll see you at churchmilitant.com. God love you.